Hi Leo, welcome to the new moon in Sagittarius reading for December 12th, 2023. New moons bring in new cycles. So we're going to see what direction this reading is going in. I don't have all of my decks with me. I'm not in my usual space or place, and so I have to work with what I have. The direction this reading is going in is 8, intention, discovery. 8 is a lot of energy, a lot of power behind your intention. But there seems to be an interesting discovery in the next 2 weeks. So let's see, that's the direction the reading is going in. Your particular focus. The 5 of Cups. This is the grieving card. 5 is the roller coaster ride. It's very changeable. There's no stability with 5. But it pushes us to find balance. This card asks you to, if you are grieving or in the grieving process, that's fine, but don't stay there too long. Otherwise it can become depression. And the way to remove yourself from that is to see what is still good in your life, what's still standing. Okay, I'm going to lay out the cards. Usually, though, the discovery card is quite positive. It's a positive discovery. The first column is where you find yourself at the new moon or what it is that you're starting. Maybe you are deliberately starting something new. You have Wands, so it's very passionate energy. A lot of power and energy behind it. The second column is you and how you're dealing with the situation, how you're behaving. Water and air, so there's some emotion behind some thinking, behind thoughts and action. And the last one is probable outcome. So you have some more air, which is action or thought, and some earth to ground all of that, which is good, I think. Okay, so let's have a look here. I can see where the 5 of Cups matches up with that 5 of Swords in the outcome, but we'll get there. Let's start with the first column, where you find yourself or what you're starting up here. You're starting a 10 of Wands, which is the end of a situation while simultaneously beginning something new. And you're taking your responsibilities to the finish line with the 10 of Wands. It can feel slow and plodding, but I do have the feeling that things are going to start to move a little bit quicker. And it really depends on your thinking, because this is the law of attraction card. So it's where thoughts go, energy flows, and it's very swift energy. Everything's going in the same direction, as is this, but it's just slow and plodding. However, this card livens things up. It puts a little more energy behind it and gets things moving just a little bit more. The 10 of Wands cautions that if you are taking on the responsibility of other people, you could be cheating them out of their own learning lessons. So if you can give responsibility back to other people, you should. And I know that it's not always possible, so sometimes we just have to carry that load. But I think that if things were slow and plodding, they can be taking a turn with that 8 of Wands and moving a little more swiftly, especially if you put your thought behind it, right? Especially if you know where you're going and, you're focused. You have the Temperance card with that. Temperance is moderation. That's interesting, because this is slow and plodding, and all of a sudden we're going quick, and this card is saying find that nice in between. Remember, 5 asks us to find balance. Things are in a bit of a state of flux at the moment with the Temperance card. On a very spiritual level or an internal level, this card asks us to spiritualize what we do in order to make it not so mundane. If you put your thoughts and energy of it, that it has some meaning, then it doesn't feel as plodding, it doesn't feel as slow. It's kind of like, let's say you've got to do dishes, right? And it's kind of a drag to do dishes. But if you put the thought behind it that you are, sterilizing a plate in which you put your best food on, something that you've created, then it doesn't seem so mundane and stupid. It's really like, well, I'm purifying something so that when I lay my creation on top of it, it's beautiful and it's perfect. It's that kind of energy. And that's what I mean by spiritualizing what you're doing. It won't feel so plodding and so long if you know that there's a good reason behind it, Things are in a state of flux, so not everything is settled just yet, and that's true. Things are up in the air right now. They haven't quite landed just yet, but you're getting there with that Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is, you can at least see the end in sight. But sometimes that makes it feel a little bit longer. It makes it feel like it's further away because you can see the end, but you're still taking those slow, steady steps to get there. However, you will get there, and you take that responsibility on, and you'll get there. The center of the reading column of the reading is the Two of Cups and the Page of Swords, which means that you're behaving a bit like a Taurus. And this is my detective card. It's somebody who wants to clear up the clouds in his mind, the questions that he has, and goes to great lengths to do it. It's the detective card, so he really goes to great lengths to find answers. And this can be where partnerships are concerned, of all kinds. The person that you may be dealing with could be very different than you are, but there is something that matches. This is your desires mirrored in somebody else. But I wonder why you are looking for more information here. So you could even be looking on online or social media. That's kind of like maybe you meet somebody and you're wondering if they're the right person for you. It feels a little bit disconnected from this card. So I feel like this is something different. It's not a straight line here. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are different things going on. It's not just one scenario and we're going through one scenario. It feels like there's a few different things going on. But even if it's partnerships, within this relationship or this burden that you're carrying, can be that. Now, you have the Sun, which is illumination. It is rebirth. It is healing. It's very social. This could be a really nice partnership. Really nice. It's sort of like it revitalizes and renews you. It feels very kind and youthful, and it's an interesting partnership. I don't know why you're behaving like a Taurus. It just feels to me like there's something that you want to find out about somebody, and this is the illumination, right? You get your answer. You definitely get your answer. And now with that, however, you have the Five of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. The Five of Swords is drama that's being played out around you. And it can be maybe with partnerships or people that you're taking responsibility for, or they're loading some responsibility on you. The Five of Swords is mind your words because they have impact. But this is dramas being played out around you. And it feels to me like with that Knight of Pentacles, there is some procrastination. Now this can have something to do with money. See, for me, the sun is the discovery, right? There's some illumination. You're looking for something and you find it. The Five of Swords is you get what you want, but it may not be the way you want it. And the Knight of Pentacles is inert. It can feel like there's procrastination, but it can also just be timing that's necessary here with that Knight of Pentacles. Because the Knight of Pentacles knows when to plow his field, he knows when to plant it, he knows when to harvest. Timing is important with that Knight of Pentacles. And it may look like procrastination to other people, but it's just that you know your timing. However, that Five of Swords is a very difficult card. And this is in regards to partnerships of any kind. There can be money argument or dramas going on, or that somebody is not moving quick enough. Like, it's maybe like, we're gonna get married, let's do it in the summer, but then I'll postpone it, let's do it later. We're procrastinating, right? There's like a very procrastinating energy, and somebody's not gonna like that. And it can just be because you have too much going on, right? You have a lot of responsibility here, and you're working at it, but there's moderation, right? We know that things are still in a state of flux. They're not quite settled yet. And that can leave the feeling of, okay, we're procrastinating here, or it's not getting done in the time frame that we want it to get done. And dramas can play out because of that. Okay, now you have your own card here, Leo. This is the Strength card. It is definitely Leo card, but it is taming the beast within, right? Taming the ego. Finding inner strength and courage to act, to go forward, to do it, to stop procrastinating, or to stick up for yourself. But again, you have this thing of the Five of Cups, right, which is your focus. And for all intents and purposes, this is very nice, and this is you and how you're dealing with the situation. But it seems to me like there is some sort of burden or some drama that can kind of throw you off your game a little bit. Nonetheless, you make a wonderful discovery. And that can give you the courage. That can give you courage and stamina, right? Strength to move forward and to finish out these big responsibilities that you're dealing with. Because I don't have all my cards here, I'm using a different deck for what Spirit wants you to know. But it's an old deck. It's one I choose daily cards for myself. Yeah. You have Seeking Good. And the card reads, look for good in your current situation. And that's what this card is. It's asking you to pivot and to see what is still good and what is still standing in your current situation. So they're asking you to seek the good. And the interesting thing is, I think that you will, because again, this is the seeker, right? The Taurus card, he's out looking for it. He's going to comb every inch and to find what is good. And you should find it, especially with the Sun card. There's illumination there. You should absolutely find it. But it is also asking you to see the good in every situation. So even in the Five of Swords, in the drama, section of this reading, it's nice because I get a little more energy with you. The first readings, I just feel like everybody's kind of tired and withdrawn a little bit. And with you, I get a little more energy towards the end of the reading. And so I do feel like if you've been under the weather or a little bit lackluster or Not, I mean, this is burdened, so I can understand why it feels heavy. But as we progress through this 2 weeks, I feel like you get things more in order. And I do want to pull just one last card for the Five of Swords, because it feels a little bit out of place. But like I said, it can be you get what you want, but it's not quite the way you want it to be. Yeah, see, there's this need for some rest or planning, and at the right time, you pick up the sword, that fourth sword right there, and you begin action. But there's this need for planning here. And maybe that's the procrastination card, right? The Knight of Pentacles. And like I said, it looks to other people like procrastination, but it's timing, really. Timing could be for you sometime in the summer, because you have the Sun card and you have the Leo card, which is August. So it can be summertime, where you feel like things then are progressed, or you've finished this heavy load to bear, kind of moving slowly, steadily. But moderation is the key in this situation, right? Things are in a state of flux. Don't try and get ahead of yourself. And in the meantime, enjoy relationships, enjoy partnerships of all kinds, even though I do feel like you want to look into those partnerships. But you have the Sun there, so it's really nice and friendly. And there's something here, though, that it feels to me like you kind of go through ups and downs, like you have high highs and low lows. And that's why there's moderation necessary, right? There's this thing of having to find an even keel, an even balance. Because the negative side of the Sun is mania, right? Like manic. And I don't really see that here. For me, it just feels like there's some high highs and some low lows. When the low lows come along, that's why when they're asking you to seek the good. Like, see what's still good here. There can be situations around you, heavy burdens and dramas playing out, but relationship, or at least one relationship, is really good. It's really lovely and supportive and fun, and gives you energy. Okay? All right. I hope that's been helpful. I will return in 2 weeks with a full moon reading. Thank you for listening, and take good care. Bye for now.